Alright guys, so last video notes, we were solving system of equations by graphing. This video notes, we are actually going to use the other two methods to solve systems of equations, substitution and elimination. Okay, so I'm going to do two examples for you, and then I gave you a few to do on your own. Okay, so substitution, elimination, and then you'll have your practice assignments that you'll submit either on Canvas or on WootMath. Okay, hopefully, again, by now you've kind of gotten into the groove of how this works. Okay, hope everybody's doing well. Miss seeing your faces. Okay, well, let's get our assignment, or our examples, excuse me. Okay? Number one is telling us that we need to solve this system by substitution. Okay, substitution, think if I were gone, okay, replacing with something. There would be someone taking my place. Okay, we're substituting something in. Okay, so there's two ways we can think of it. So we can see that on the top, we're just going to say that y equals this green equation on top, right? Okay, so if y equals this green equation, but then look at the bottom, y also equals this green equation. Okay, since they're both green, or they're both equal to y, we are going to set them equal to each other, or substitute, replace that y with our first equation. Okay, really all you're doing here is setting them equal to each other so you can solve. Okay, so I'm going to take my first one, my top one, negative 4x plus 14 equal to my second one, negative 6x plus 18. Perfect. Now I have an equation. I have no more y's left in there, so I can solve for x. Okay? So I need all my x's to be on one side in order to solve it. I like to move the smaller one. You're going to look at negative 4 and negative 6. The smaller one, quote unquote, is negative 6. It is smaller or more negative. Okay, so I'm going to do the opposite of negative 6x, and I'm going to add 6x. Okay, that moves it over here. The only one I can combine that with is the 4x. 14 and 6x are not like terms. Okay, so I'm going to quickly rewrite it over here just so we have some space. Okay, so negative 4 plus 6 is going to turn into a positive 2x. Okay, we have 14 left over there.
If you were not able to get a lunch when they were here before, we do have some more down on the main office stack counter. For those who did not already get a lunch, please come down now.
I apologize for the announcement. Okay, so we know that 14 was left over there. All we did was combine the 6x with the 4x so that all of our x's are on one side. Okay, now I can finish solving for x. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving over here. So now what I'm going to do is, the first thing I need to get rid of is this plus 14 because it's farthest away. I subtract 14 on both sides. Okay, so I get 2x left over here equals 4. Okay, we're so close to solving it. Last step, divide by 2. Divide by 2. We know that x equals 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Okay, I boxed that, but that's not quite our end answer yet. We now need to use this x. We found x. In fact, I'm going to circle it so you guys don't get confused, because I always tell you to box your answers. Okay, so circled, we're going to use it to now find y. Because if you remember from my last video notes, the answer to a system of equations, whether you're graphing, substituting, eliminating, is always a coordinate point. You always need an x and a y. Okay, so now let's use the x that we found in order to find the y. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you choose. I'll just choose this top one just because, and I'm going to come over here and rewrite it. So now I have y equals negative 4 times x plus 14. Okay, well we know that we just found that x, whoops, sorry guys, can't really see that. We know that x we found was 2. So I'm going to substitute it in there, and now I can solve. Negative 4 times 2, y equals negative 8 plus 14. Okay, negative 8 plus 14 is going to give me positive 6. Okay, so I'll circle that, but our final answer, which I'll write in green, sure, why not? Our final answer, always x 4x comes first. We see that. 2, comma, y, 6. This is our final answer. Final answer. Beautiful. Okay, so just to go over that again, substitution, we said them equal to each other, had to move the x's so they were all on one side so we could solve. Then I plugged in or substituted again what we found for x in order to find y. That gave us our final coordinate point. Okay, awesome. So that's substitution. Now let's talk about elimination. Okay, so elimination, we always start, and you guys hopefully remember this, we always start by drawing a line under both equations as if we were going to add these. Okay, kind of like if you were to do 2 plus 3 equals 5. Right? Kind of an example. Okay, so if we're looking back here, now we say when I add them together, which one cancels? Or in other words, now I'm going to just add them straight down. Negative 6 plus 2 is going to give me negative 4x. Okay, so we know that x didn't cancel or eliminate because it didn't make it 0. We're trying to make one of them 0. Okay, but let's look at our y's. Negative 1, we know an invisible 1, plus 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Those guys did just eliminate. There's no need to write any y's because those became 0. They canceled each other out. Okay, so just write your equal sign. 5 minus 5 also equals 0. Okay, this is a step where if you come to this point on your example or your practice problems, don't freak out. Okay, you only want the variable to eliminate. If the numbers get to 0, that's okay. We can still solve. Okay, so keep watching. So we know that negative 4 times something equals 0. Okay, well we know that the opposite of times by negative 4 is divide by negative 4. Okay, 0 divided by negative 4 is 0. Okay, so we found the x part. Now we need to plug it in to find the y part. You need both parts. Okay, x and y. Okay, so let's use our x to find our y. Okay, and it does not matter which one you plug it into. I'll plug it into the top one just because. So now the top one is negative 6 times x minus y equals 5. Okay, well we know that we found x. X was 0. Okay, so now we can solve this. 6 times 0 is 0. 0 minus y equals 5. Okay, and I'm going to rewrite this over here just to give us some more space. We do not need to write that 0. We can just write minus y equals 5. Okay, and here's where it might get a little tricky because y is not quite by itself yet. We still have this negative 1 attached. Okay, negative 1 times y, the opposite of times by negative 1, is divide by negative 1. Okay, so we know that 5 divided by negative 1 is negative 5. We found both parts of our answers, x and y, so we can write them in a coordinate point. X was 0, y is negative 5, and there's our final answer. Okay, so those are your examples, your reviews on solving systems of equations by substitution and elimination. Again, either print it off, submit it through Canvas by taking a picture or scanning it, or go to wootmath.com, do the same assignment there.